June is Audiobook Month. Join Viviana, the Enchantress of Books, and the Audiobook Lovin Series as she celebrates the authors and narrators who bring your favorite stories to life. Not only will this month be packed with exciting guest podcasts full of all things books, but stick around after each episode for some special information about this year's giveaway and more.
Hi everyone, we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary and I'm so freaking excited. Please welcome season 10, episode 5 of the Audiobook Lovin Series. And today I am chatting with returning guest, narrator Lucy Rivers. Thank you again for being here.
I'm super excited to be back and congratulations on a decade. That is an achievement.
Right?
That is some hard work. That's an achievement. Well done.
Thank you. I survived.
Somehow we're all still alive.
Right? But it's good. Yeah. It's good. It's been 10 fantastic years of getting to know new voices, new to us voices as well, new authors, new, narrators, and just the process also in 10 years, how things have evolved and changed has been great to be like, aha, I was there back in the day.
Well, you kind of were. I feel like, audiobooks took off in a different way with the advent of the iPhone, because all of a sudden you could you didn't have CDs, right? You could have a whole library on this tiny little thing. And I feel like you were, you were out there early. Like you were an early person who's like, yeah, I'm into this audio thing. It's taken other people longer to get there. But you've been around for a while,
I have been, total of 15 years as a reviewer and blogger and business stuff. And the series, it's just, 10 years ago, there was nobody doing this. Absolutely nobody having a sitting down conversation, talking to you guys as the narrators and the authors about the audiobook specifically, more so than anything else. And now we fast forward and we have a bunch of, podcasts where they're reviewing audiobooks, they're talking to other people that love audiobooks and things like that. But I think this is one of those things that kind of kickstarted that a little bit. And I remember having to switch out the CD in my, car because, next disc for chapter 5.
Oh, I remember having to record all the, this is the end of disc 4. Please put in disc 6 or what, all of those transitional. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to record all of these. Here we go.
All right.
So, yeah.
And right now the biggest thing is, when there's a text interaction in the book being recorded and you're like, okay, are we doing the, Sam and then her text and then Bill, his text and back and forth. That's like amazing how technology has fast forward us in what we're doing now and able to just, kind of hang out in this social world of online, but also be able to still get into the stories and disappear into that fantasy. It's just fantastic. So 10 years.
10 years. Congratulations. That really is an achievement.
Again. Yes. And I remember having you early on and when the shows first started and having you a couple of other times into this.
Well, I think I'm at 14 years of narration now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've both been in this world for almost the same amount of time if you're at 15.
Yeah. It's been great seeing you guys from, that class, quote unquote, like back in high school, like class of 90, whatever. Yeah. I'm not doing math right now. I haven't only had one cup of coffee, folks. Okay. But it's just been great to see how this industry have grown and how we have so many more voices part of it and so many more authors telling us these stories. And so I was like, I need to talk to Lucy. It's been 10, she's been part of this whole, adventure for me. So I'm like, I want to have her back. I want to have some more Lucy.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions for you. I'm calling these quickies in the sense of we're not going to go down that whole road because we've done these before as far as, process and things like that. Now I just want to get to know you guys a little bit better on a different level, but also the listeners kind of getting to know you guys at that different level that some of us may know you a little bit on because we have more interactions with you guys, but still. So my first question to you, if you're ready.
I am. I do. I have to admit, sometimes love a good quickie. Let's do it.
I know. Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have all day. You just want to scratch an itch. Let's scratch it.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So first one is, if someone was to summon you via a cauldron, what 3 ingredients or things would they have to have and use?
Ooh, let's see. I think in this witchy potion, you would need a bottle of motor oil, specifically for motorcycles. I think you would need a solid dash of tequila and a set of nipple clamps.
No. All right.
I think that might summon Lucy Rivers. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I think I have all the ingredients except for that last one, but I may actually have it. Who knows? Worth finding out and worth going to get it if I don't. So, because of course I want to make sure that I always have my ingredients to summon Miss Lucy Rivers.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And I'll show up in a big old cloud of black smoke like my black heart. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
But also, you know how sometimes we have that song that we hear when certain people, like before we see them coming, we hear them. In my case, sometimes I'm sure it's a dun, 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 from, you know, if you know, you know. But in your case, for some people, I'm okay with being the villain, okay? But for you, I kind of hear the motorcycle, like, you know, for, you know, anytime I think of you, I'm like, anytime I hear a motorcycle revving or I see one, I'm going, yeah, Lucy. It's just a fun, you know, kind of thing for me to have that go for. So motor order, I have that.
I am not mad at that. If that's what it, like precedes me into the room is the sound of a motorcycle, I'm not mad at that.
Oh, badass chick, come on, you know.
Yeah. I should just like get that sound and like put it on my phone and start playing it every time I enter a room.
Oh, we're gonna do that next time we're at a con together. We're gonna be like, all right, yeah.
People are like, what is that? What is going on?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Do a panel and just each of you guys have an entry sound, you know. And also play that game of can you guess which narrator this is?
Ooh, who's behind the curtain?
Yes. Okay, another thing I have. So what does a healthy relationship look like to you?
Wow. Now we're getting serious, huh? What does a healthy relationship look like to me? I think it's a combination of deep friendship and loyalty. It's like the person that you want to share all of the good and the bad things with, the person who makes you laugh, makes you giggle, knows your insecurities and helps you overcome them, someone who inspires you to be the best version of yourself and also calls you on it when you're not. And then I think that, you know, for me, there's got to be chemistry. There's also got to be it's got to be that person that you just still want to make out with like 20 years in, right? Like a hot makeout, like in the back of the car, hot makeout, because you just can't keep your hands off each other. I think it's a lot of honesty and integrity and truthfulness. You don't always have to be telling the truth, but you don't have to always tell the truth. Yeah. And I really, really value loyalty.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm huge on that. Due to like past experiences and stuff like that. I'm like, just tell me you're not happy. Like, or let me know if I'm being a bitch. you know? But also tell me when I'm being good. You know?
Yeah.
And
you
like
gotta call me when I do the stupid things. You gotta call me on it, but also like support me when you're like, oh, you nailed that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I love that. What's your love language?
Oh. I mean, this is one of those ones that I'm like, it depends on the day and the person, but
okay. See, I'm not the only one that has the same thought process though.
Yeah, like it's not the same from everyone. And I would even say like love languages from friends it depends on the person, right? But I think if I'm leaning toward one, I would say it's actually acts of service. Yeah, but I think it really kind of depends, you know?
Yeah, I've realized that too when I've had this question asked of me and I'm going, well, who am I talking about?
Yeah, like who am I talking about? And or like at what point in our relationship were we talking about this? Or what point in my own journey when like sometimes what you really need from someone is this thing. And then like a year later, you might actually need something else from them. And that I think is normal. But
yes, that is true. That's true. And I think that's also a healthy way to look at it instead of saying, well, my love language is this and that's it. I'm like, well, you're supposed to be growing, folks.
just give me presents forever. That's all I want. Just give me gifts forever. No.
Yeah.
No. I think if we grow and change, then like what you need from someone at a certain point in your own journey changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I don't need another set of diamond earrings or bracelets. I need the lawn cut. I need the dishes done.
Yeah. Acts of service, man. It's like seeing the thing that I'm like, I'm too tired to get to that. And then you come home and you're like, oh my God, you did that for me?
Mm-hmm.
Ah! Yeah,
exactly. The thing like, what, you made me a sandwich? Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I forgot to eat today.
I forgot to eat, and you could tell because I'm hangry. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. It's good. It's good to have these kind of dialogues too for that same reason, because I'm sure people listeners are going, see, it's not me only. I'm like, nope, girl, it's not just you. It's
Not just you. I
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think all of those things that it's like, you have to be one of these things. I'm always the person that's like, well, no,
Yeah, similar.
I'm never just one of those things. Like, depends on the day. It depends on it. Yeah. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's the same thing. I get you totally. What are you most afraid of?
Oh, getting dark and deep again, huh? I would say my most consistent fear as an adult has been mediocrity. I would rather do something and fail spectacularly, but really give it my all, but it just doesn't, or do something well. I don't like just being mediocre. I think it's an awful thing. That's my own personal fear. That and Black Widows, but that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely where I'll just send you a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would be one that I would like gift. And it would technically not be a gift; it would be an act of service in your eyes, though, because it would be like the flamethrower, the torture
Yeah.
for when you see a spider. Like, there you go.
Yeah. That's exactly right. I know
Mhm.
it's the tiny little poisonous things. The bigger poisonous things, I'm like easy to avoid, but those
Yeah.
tiny little spiders, ew, ew,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
ew.
I get it.
Anyway.
Someone that lives in Florida, I get it.
Oh yeah, you probably got some gnarly ones. Woo.
Oh, we got a couple of them. We got also the brown recluse and all that other fun stuff.
Ugh.
Wow, we have a whole long list. We're just as bad sometimes as Australia. So
Oh God.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's why people just, So I go to you most of the time. I'll travel. I'll go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
We're good.
That's fair.
Yeah. Hmm.
But you also have great beaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely great beaches. Yes, we really do.
Yeah.
They also sharks in those, but whatever. I digress.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
I like hanging out in the sand and just having that little section there, but there's always something. That's the thing too, I think in life though, in reality is there's always something out there that could potentially cause you harm and the life cycle, make you cry, but there's also so many other things that can bring you joy within that same realm. And like I love the sound of the ocean. So I would risk anything just to be able to just get my toes in the sand and stuff like that. I'm like, it's okay. The shark's
Yeah.
over there. I'm over here.
Yeah. There is no reward without risk, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So what is one thing that never fails to make you feel better?
Walking in nature. I'm a big walker, and anytime I'm having a mental health moment, I just lost my last grandparent about a year ago, who I was very close with, and I just remember getting the news, and I just went out and did like an 8-mile walk, and these ravens were walking with me, and it was a big walk in nature. That is inevitably a thing that will set my head and heart back to a better place.
That's true. I'm sorry for your loss. As someone that has also lost her mom and her grandparent too recently, it's been 4 years, but it always seems like yesterday. I feel you. I'm so sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
same to you. Yeah, I
Thanks.
mean it is part of life, but we carry them with us forever, and grief doesn't kind of ever go away. It changes maybe, but yeah.
Yep, that is true. I think there's also too like one of the things I love about books is that sometimes those lessons are taught to us in these stories, the good and the not so good and the bad and the sads. And so there's been times where I'm going, okay, I could not vocalize my emotions or how I think, but that one paragraph in a book in a story kind of like says it. So that's where things get highlighted and made into little stickers or little
Yeah.
post-it notes. And I'm like, what's today? Okay, that's stickers today. Got it. All right, good. Those are my mood rings.
Yeah, but it's true how literature teaches us so much about life, or lets us find ways to express something that we're feeling, but maybe don't have the words for. But yeah, I think as someone who read a ton as a small child, like a ton, I learned so much about, the world at large outside of the tiny town I grew up in. But you also learn a lot about emotions and how to navigate them, and feelings. And it's quite the education, literature. It's amazing.
Yes, it can be great.
Yeah.
Yes. So right now, as we're talking, what are your biggest priorities in life?
Okay. Biggest priorities in life. I think right now it would be maintaining some of my deepest and oldest friendships. I really value that, and I put a lot of time and effort into those friendships very deliberately. I've been trying to focus on my family more in the past few years and spending time with them. And between you and I'm trying to date again. It's been difficult, but I'm trying. Wish me luck.
I wish you luck. I will send you a care package with stones and sage.
Please, please, God.
Yeah.
If you have something that will help, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you imagine if we had like a bell or something that the moment that like someone came to pick you up, or you met someone and you heard the bell and you're going, yeah, I gotta go, because that was like a no, what, run sign of like.
It's just, I gotta go. My oven's on. I gotta go.
Yeah,
bye.
I gotta go. Yeah. It's hard.
Oh, Lord, it is.
Yeah.
Lordy.
Yeah, I'm not
But
single,
it's also,
but I can imagine.
Ugh. But it's also like one of the great things about being human, right?
Mhm.
So it's hard, but there's a reason we keep trying.
Yes, yes. But I also love that you're actively focused on maintaining those friendships that are the older ones that have kind of seen us through our growth and stuff like that. I think sometimes we know all types of relationships take work, but sometimes we're like, oh, it's a friendship. It's supposed to last forever, regardless of how we do things, right? But it takes work. It takes the connection and stuff. And yeah, I have those friends where if I don't talk to them for a few years and we get together, it's like time never passed and we catch up quickly and I'm like, oh, okay, great. But it's that you don't know when that next time is. That's the other thing for me. So
yeah,
I'm glad that
I have two women in particular I've known for about 15 years, and we don't let a year go by where we don't get together physically, but we make sure we have, kind of calls regularly, texts almost every day. It is a thing that you have to put effort in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I want to start doing. And I might look into it now with that almost 6 month mark of to next year. Like I want to be able to do that like for 2020, starting in 2025, where once, even if it's just once a year, getting together with that core group of friends and just renting an Airbnb, a cabin in the woods, I don't know, somewhere, something, and just ignore everybody else and just hang out.
It is pretty incredible, I think, to have those kind of friendships and people who've known you over a long period of time, because they really know you.
Mm-hmm.
And these are good, very good friends. So they're very supportive, but they also do call me on my shit when I need it. So.
But we need that in our life. I hate people and I don't understand well, I think I do, but I don't like it. The individuals that surround themselves with yes folks and people that are constantly just blowing smoke up their asses. I know that's an ego boost for them, and there's other issues that it's a psychologist's wet dream, basically, right? But I'm like, I would rather have, those friends in my life and people in my circle that would be like, listen, you may have been a little harsh there, or what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I can't grow if everything is always hunky-dory, right?
That's right. And I think really great friends want, if the point of life is to, now we're getting into some deep shit, but if the point of life is to kind of love and grow and be here and become the best person that you can be over your lifetime, however long that may be, is to become the best version of yourself that you can be. If that is one of the points of life, and I think it is, then that means you need people who help you on that path and let you know when you're like, oh, that behavior is not helping you, or I don't think you're being totally truthful with yourself about that. You really need to go look at that. Yeah, I mean, I want friends around me who are going to help me be the best version of myself I can be, the best person that I can be for my community, for my family, for, someone who is going to make sure that I'm not straying from my ethical and moral center and making sure that I'm still being a good person. I think that's important. So, yeah.
Yeah. I need that friend that says, put the hex down. I'm like, but they were really mean. I'm like, put it down, Viviana. I'm like, damn it, fine. I'll just put him in a jar.
Fine. I won't stab a needle into this doll. Fine.
Oh, yeah. Those friends are like, you know what, Viv, orange is not your color. I'm like, shit, you're right. Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. I'm still going to wear it. I just know that it's not my color.
Yeah.
Fine.
And that also means jail. So no.
Fair. No orange jumpsuits, please.
No, thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So who would narrate an audiobook memoir about your life?
Wow.
Mhm.
Me, just kidding. No. Uh, Me, obviously, that would be correct. Who would narrate an audiobook memoir about me? That's a good question. Uh, I'm gonna go with CJ Bloom.
Okay.
Quirky, she's funny, she's got a good sense of humor. You know, a memoir about me is not gonna be a straightforward little journey. It's not gonna be. We need someone who can land some jokes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. CJ Bloom, you got the gig. All right.
Mhm. You've been hired.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Well, at least we know, right? We know we can say, listen, the book's coming out. We know exactly who she wanted because on Vivi's show,
Yeah.
that's what she shared. Okay.
Yeah. She's dead, but we know what she wants, okay?
Yes.
She said it. It's
Yeah.
recorded.
Yes. Oh, that's a good choice, though. She's great. I love her.
Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, if it's not me doing my own book, which is obviously what should happen, but it's fine.
Oh, well, yeah, that means that you have to write the book, girl.
It's fine. I'll just write. I can write an autobiography, or a memoir, because a memoir is also an autobiography.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, as a reader, I choose biographies over memoirs because
Mm.
I feel like most memoirs, you're not going to tell us the real shit. Like, you're going to make yourself look good. You know what I mean? Like,
That is true.
you're not going to give us like the whole story, whereas a biographer is going to go dig around and like actually get the whole story. So,
Yeah, that one time that she got motor oil all over herself instead of on the bike and in the bike. Yeah, that was a story.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was messy and slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like she likes it.
Oof. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. What hobby have you always wanted to pick up?
A hobby. Mhm. Well, I mean, I could tell you what I have always wanted to be able to do, but I'm terrible at, and I tried for years. I always really wanted to be able to sing well. And the truth is, I don't. And I mean, I paid for lessons. I had like teachers. I did for years. And the reality is that I don't. That is not the question you asked. The question you asked.
Hobby. Singing could be a hobby. Singing could be a hobby.
It could be a hobby. It could be a hobby. What else have I always? I've always been curious about woodworking and carpentry and actually being able to like build my own furniture. I find it a little overwhelming to figure out how to start that process, but I think it would be very cool.
Yeah, see, if we lived close enough, you and I would have a set.
Are you a carpenter?
No, I want to. I want to learn.
Oh.
So it's one of those things where like, okay, I'm going to buy this tool. You're going to buy that other tool. So we're not doubling up on things. And then we're going to like, do it together. And, because always it's better to do things together sometimes because that way you can be like, are you sure that's the right angle or not? Because I'm the girl that second guesses herself, right? So I need someone to be like, just do it. But yeah, I did make my own shelves years ago. I still have them. I think I was 12. My dad taught me how to make those. And I still have them.
Oh, wow. I love that you still have them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I love the idea of working with wood. And I really wish that when I was in high school, they had that woodwork as an elective, but also that they were more open to having girls in it. But
yeah, I
whatever.
would say I think we had a shop elective at my school, but it definitely was like the guys took it. In retrospect, I'm like, fuck, I should have taken that class. It would have been so useful. I could be fixing stuff around the house. Like,
when I see those videos with like especially the ladies, like just dumbling down a wall or adding, things that to me look, okay, it's trim work. It shouldn't be that hard, but I still second guess myself. But they're just going at it. And I'm going, yeah, you do that. I want to do that. You do that. I really want to do that.
I know. Like, I kind of want to find like a good handyman who would come out and teach me how to do stuff. Like, not actually do all the work that needs to be done. Just be like, here's how you fix that. And I'll be like, cool. Like, I kind of want to do that. Someone needs to start this business that like some kind of handy Jane of all tradesy business, but you like teach people how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's what YouTube is for, and I use YouTube for that a lot. When I'm like, how do I fix the toilet? YouTube will tell me.
Yeah, but there's also something about having that human being right next to you to teach you in case, to have that dialogue. Okay, well, you obviously did not measure twice.
Right?
Let's try this again. Or what makes you think that's a 90-degree angle? Versus having to wait and kind of watch the video 15 times over, right? I mean, and we all learn differently. But I mean, that would be something too that I think it's a good way to kind of, I like learning. So to be able to hire someone as a handyman or handy woman that can come over and tell me, okay, what's the project? And I lay things out and they're like, all right, let's start this. And then walk me through it and I can help would be fantastic. But yeah.
Be awesome. That is like what I want. I need to find that person.
You do need to find that person. And why do I also see that would be a great start to a book?
Totally.
Right?
You hire the handy woman or the handy man to teach you things. I mean, in this book, it should probably be a handy woman with like this sweetly adorable kind of nerdy guy. And he's like, oh, I should learn how to do this. And he hires a handy woman. And then probably something happens where they get stuck in the house and they can't leave, like a storm or something,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then off you go. And there's only one bed or whatever. And we're off to the races. We are off to the races. Yeah.
Yeah. Or that's the friend that they haven't seen each other for a while and she wants to know this stuff and get crafty and he's handy about it. And he's like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And, he starts helping her out, but maybe she knows how to do it or she picks it up really fast and tries to like dumb it down. Cause us girls do that shit too for boys. We're like, stop it. We don't do that anymore. And he calls her out on it. So yeah, all fun. But I could totally see that happening with you and having you start dating. So maybe certain fortune teller here or whatever, but who knows, right?
But this definitely makes me think I should go find some handymen to come over and teach me things.
Right?
Just in case.
Yeah. When do you feel the most free?
Either on a relatively empty highway on two wheels on my Harley on a beautiful spring or fall day with kind of nowhere to go and the world ahead of me, or on a top of a mountain on a trail where there's no reception, there's no phones, there's no other people, and it's just me and the breeze and my dog.
Puppies. Doggies are always great.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it would be somewhere in nature.
Yeah. I'm pretty predictable that way.
Well, there's just something about it too, right? But also, I mean, I can totally see you riding the bike and just for that, knowing that it's safe to do it because there's no other cars, there's nobody else on the road, right? And just kind of like letting go of the handles for a second, you know? Mm-hmm.
It is kind of the closest I think I'll ever know to what it feels like to fly. You know what I mean? Like the wind and you can smell it's so different from being in a car or anything. It really is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I hear that from bikers. My brother still rides a bike and things like that. And it's like, I'm like, one day I'll get on one day.
You got plenty of time. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a lot of trust issues. And I'm the girl that statistically speaking, like there's a bump on the road, there's a rock, and I'm like, stop, I overthink. So, and I think there has to be a simplicity in wanting to ride a bike and knowing all the potential issues and that could happen, but kind of like saying, you know what, it's worth it. I'm not quite there yet, but I love the fact that you guys are, because that's also this free spirit thing that I see in many.
So, it's pretty great. It's also one of the few things that you do that you can't be doing 9,000 things at a time. Like you just have to be present on a motorcycle because you can't be thinking about other shit because you might not pay attention to the road, and that's a bad idea.
Yes.
It's very present moment. It's kind of amazing.
That is true. And I think a lot of us just don't do that. We're always constantly multitasking and trying to go to the next thing. So I can see that. Yeah. All right. So how do you define happiness?
God, we're just not pulling any punches in this interview. How do I define happiness? I think here, okay. So philosophically speaking, I think we currently in this present day society we live in, everyone seems to be kind of chasing happiness all the time. And I am one of those people who just believes that's not possible. Like we aren't happy all the time. That's just not how humanity works. And happiness is an emotion. Most emotions are something that you kind of live in for brief moments and then move through and then on to the next thing. And so happiness, there are moments of it. I think the thing that I feel in longer chunks that I'm just fine with is like content. I just am content. Like things are good. And I don't know, what is happy? What was the question? This is a hard one. What does happiness mean to
Yeah, like
me?
how do you define it? How do you define happiness?
I mean, I think it is that moment where you're doing any one thing in your life and I just take a second and realize there's nothing else and nowhere else I'd rather be than right here in this moment. And that's happiness,
Mm-hmm.
I think, to me.
Yeah. It's all those little
Ah, so
things.
big question. Big question.
Okay.
Jesus.
Sorry. Well,
Ah,
hey.
it's really early in the morning for this kind of stuff. I'm ready. I got this. It's okay.
Well, the good news is that we're now going towards the end of all this stuff like that. We're guilty pleasures. I remember asking you during our Patreon because we have that question of would you rather tell everyone your guilty pleasures or never partake in your guilty pleasures again? And your answer is like, oh yeah, I'll tell everybody. And I'm like, well, great. The next time you come on, we're going to have a conversation about those. And usually we don't. I never bring that up because it's just one of those things like we have other stuff going on. And a lot of times I think we tend to think that the guilty pleasures tend to be of the sexual nature variety. And I'm like, whatever floats your boat, handcuffs with whatever, that's we're not having this conversation on air. That's like for the bar later. You know what I mean? So I never brought it up. But it's also kind of come like, I've had other conversations, and surprisingly, when I ask, okay, like let's talk about your guilty pleasures. Anything from just eating ice cream for dinner to taking that extra 5 minutes in the shower, but also the whole dialogue of it really there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure kind of a thing, and what do you like to indulge in might be a better suit. So I was like, I need to have this conversation, and I want to know what some of her guilty pleasures are now, after all these times have passed by. So what are some of your guilty pleasures?
I mean, they probably won't be that exciting, really.
Everybody says that, but to me, I love it.
Like I love the days when I'm able to take an afternoon nap for like 30 minutes. Like that just seems so luxurious and amazing because usually the days are insane and it like resets everything. I have a deep and abiding love for French fries, and I will almost never say no to them, even if I should. Deep and abiding love for French fries. Also, potatoes in any form, let's be real. But like the salty fried kind that you're not supposed to like is definitely what I want to eat for like every meal. I have a tendency to, whenever I'm in like a dark spot in my life, I will rewatch trashy TV shows. Not even trashy, but just like rewatch shit that you're like, really? Are you watching that again? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I understand that I've seen this like 12 times and I don't care. I'm going to watch it again. There's something comforting about it.
Yeah, it's knowing the outcome. You know exactly what's going to happen, and that is the comfort part of it all.
Yeah, and they feel like they kind of feel like old friends that you're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Napping.
Not that exciting. Not that exciting. Napping. I love a good nap.
I'm not a napper, so I envy sometimes. I'm like, I really wish I had that superpower because I see it
I
as a
know.
superpower.
I meet people who are like, I never nap, and I'm like, I don't know where to put that information in my brain. I don't know. Should I feel bad for you? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but I will say that if it's one of those like I've done it too where I'm like, oh, I need to nap. I'm like, okay, well, I will just like stand, like I'll lay next to you and just quiet. And that for me is like the fact that I'm just not on the computer, I'm not working and stuff is I guess the equivalent of maybe taking a nap rest wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, it's okay. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Probably will be on my on my urn. She slept when she says she sleep when she was dead. Hopefully it's a comfort sleep now.
Hope she's having a good time down there.
Yeah. I'll come back up and let you know. Like, Lucy, it's fun down here.
Yeah, I used to survive on like 5 hours of sleep a night for a long time. And I've really come to like sleep. I don't,
Yeah.
I've just really come to value my sleep.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know how bad I was until I started because I'm taking some herbal classes with Tara Langella, and who's an herbalist as well as a fabulous narrator. And we were doing, concoctions and syrups and things like that. And elderberry was one of the ones. And amazing how elderberry can help you. That falling asleep's a lot more natural, versus that whole like bopping of the head and then you're wide awake again. But even if I was only doing 5 hours or 6 hours of sleep, it was good quality sleep. And I'm like, oh, okay. So not only was I lacking sleep, I was lacking quality sleep. Great, Vivi.
yeah.
And so, yeah, needless to say, elderberry has been added to my diet.
Well, I like some good elderberry myself. I'm a fan.
Yeah. It's bitter, people. It's bitter. Which is why I do the syrup, because I can add my sugar to it and a little bit of cognac or something to it to make it last longer. But anyways, I digress. That's another conversation. But I get it. I get the need to just not. And while I cannot nap, I would hang out and just quietly disassociate from things.
What is Viviana? Oh, she's just disassociating. It's fine. Don't worry. She's not even in her body anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll figure it out later.
She's out walking the dream paths. She's not really sleeping, but she is not in her body. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's resting in her way.
Yeah.
Before we go, can you tell us what you're currently working on and what's coming up next for you?
Yes, I am currently in book 2 of the Tangled Crown series, which is a why choose reverse harem-y romantasy. Quite funny and delightful. Rather enjoying that. I just finished up book 2 of the Lovewell Lumberjacks series by Daphne Elliott, which is, if you're into small town with a little bit of suspense, a lot of humor, grumpy lumberjacks, it is delightful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good time. I have a book coming out with Shane East soon. That's another romantasy, Embers of Winter. And then what else do I have coming up soon? I should just look at my calendar. It has everything in it, right? I don't know if I always remember everything.
So many books to remember, though, so I get it.
Right. I know there's a lot of like, what am I doing next? I think I've got another small town series coming up, the Plum Island series. It's going to be 5 books of that. And I've got a couple of duets coming up this year. So I think I've got a series coming up with Shane East that will be all in duet. One that's coming up with Aiden Snow that will all be in duet. Lot more duet coming your way.
Nice. I love a good duet. I just love the good stories. If it happens to be in dual, great. Single, fantastic. Duet, whoo-hoo. It's, I kick it off. I don't discriminate.
I don't know if I really have a preference on style. I know some people get really into the style. For me, it really is the same thing. It's like, well, what's the plot? Like, what are the characters like? What's the plot? Okay, cool.
Me too. I'm very much like that as well. Like, people are like, oh, what are the tropes? I go, I don't know. Listen, tropes for me are spoilers. Stop it. I want to know the plot and then characters. All right, great. And then listen to the story and then kind of be engulfed in that. So yeah. Fun stuff coming our way. I'm excited. Happy. Yay.
Yeah. Some good stuff. Good stuff coming.
Yeah. Thank you, Lucy, for being part of this year's Audiobook Lovin Series and helping celebrate our 10th anniversary.
Thank you so much for having me back. I again super impressed that you're 10 years in. And I feel very lucky to have been on this show a couple of times. So it's good.
I love you. So I'm going to have you as often as I can. It's a good dose to have a dose of Lucy, just happiness.
Anytime.
All just in a spoon. You're right.
Anytime.
Well, everyone, thank you for hanging out with us today, and we hope you've enjoyed this chat as well as the series. And make sure to follow Lucy on social media. If you have not yet to do so, you will find their links on the Audiobook Lovin Series page over at Viviana, Enchantress of Books. And until next time, happy listenings.
Visit today's episode post to listen to sound clips of some of the books we discussed and enter the month-long giveaway. If you enjoyed the Audiobook Lovin podcast series and you want more, join the Audiobook Lovin podcast Patreon for early access to podcasts, exclusive content like the Would You Rather game and dinner party guests, and additional incentives such as bloopers, graphics, and much more. Support the podcast by becoming a Patreon at www.patreon.com/audiobooklovin. Thank you for joining Viviana and her guests for this podcast, and we hope you tune in again as we continue to celebrate Audiobook Month. The Audiobook Lovin Series is hosted by Viviana, the Enchantress of Books. Please make sure to visit the main page linked within the post to learn more about the entire Audiobook Lovin Series and the enchanting author and narrator guests who have joined us over the years. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a review wherever you listened, and please follow us on social media platforms and subscribe to the Viviana, the Enchantress of Books newsletter. Until next time, happy listening. Audiobook Lovin hopes you have enjoyed this program.